We're going to do disassembly and reassembly of the M240. I'll probably make this into two parts. So first will be disassembly to field strip and then down to detail. So first, verify clear and safe. Lift it, sweep it, check it. Chamber bolt stays clear, clear and safe. We'll send the bolt forward. Always send the bolt forward when you're taking apart the weapon so the spring doesn't fly out at you. First, we're going to do, at least I always start out with taking the barrel off. You're going to press right here on your barrel release latch, hold that down, slap up the charging carry handle, and slide off the barrel. There's your barrel assembly. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take off the trigger group right here. So the retaining pin for the trigger group is this retaining pin here. All you do is kind of push in on the spring, push down on the retaining pin, and it'll come right out. Retaining pin and trigger housing, or trigger group. Put the retaining pin back in there so I don't lose it. Set that over there. Next, I'll take out the buttstock. Buttstock is here. Press on the buttstock release latch and lift up so it'll come out like that. There's your buttstock. Next is your driving spring rod, which is right here. You're going to push in and up to get the driving spring rod out. So in, up, and out comes your driving spring rod. Next is your bolt and op rod. It's pretty easy. Just pull back on the charging handle and everything will come out. Bolt and op rod assembly and your receiver assembly. So right here is your general disassembly or field strip. You want to do this when you're in a non-controlled environment so you don't lose little parts. So like if you're in the field or somewhere like that where if you drop a part you can easily lose it. So this is your field strip and that's when you would do it. Now we'll go down to a full disassembly. So the full disassembly is when you're in a controlled environment, like in the armory, or a place where if you drop the part, you won't lose it. Alright, so first, I'll just go ahead and take the gas collar off of the gas regulator. Pretty easy. Just twist it lefty-loosey, and it'll come off. So gas regulator, gas collar. Come out right there. Next, going to do the bolts and op rod assembly. You go ahead and take a punch, or I got a multi-tool right here. I'm going to take out the retaining pin, push it out. Comes out pretty easy. Retaining pin, and the bolt separates from the op rod. Put the retaining pin back in here so I don't lose it. Everything else good. Now for the receiver. So you need to take this inspection plate out, press down here, open up the bipod, and we can get to the inspection plate. So on the inspection plate there's a leaf spring right here. You want to hold that down and then pull back right here, and then the inspection plate, once it starts going, you don't have to hold down on that retention area. Keep pulling back on the inspection plate. It'll come right out. You just tilt it up, and it should just fall out the bottom. Just help it along the way. There's your inspection plate. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take care of the top cover. Close this so you can see it better. So I'm going to take the top cover off along with the feed tray. So you got a retaining spring or retaining pin right here. You want to make sure your top cover remains closed during this. That way it removes some of the tension from the spring. So make sure top cover is closed. You want to go ahead and usually I just use the buttstock here and tap out the retaining pin. So just give it a little tap. There you go. Once it's out, just kind of twist and pull. Can be a little tough. It's a little tough. Get a punch to kind of punch it through, or one of these and just kind of pull it. And then you just kind of pull it out. There we go. There's that retaining pin. And now all you gotta do is lift up on the top cover, it'll come apart. Right here. There's the top cover, feed tray, the retaining pin. I'll put back in here so I don't lose it. There you go. And this is your full detailed disassembly. This is as far as you would take it down maintenance wise if you're not in armor to clean it. So we'll go over some part names and then I'll make another video of putting it all back together. So right here is your barrel. So flash suppressor, front sight. This is your gas port. This is your carrying handle release latch. The big ones right here are your barrel locking lugs. And the little ones right here, these are your barrel notches. Those are what causes the clicks when you're setting your headspace. You got your gas collar, gas regulator, your trigger housing. Right here's your trigger guard. The front one right here, that's your tripping lever. Back here is your double notch sear. Buttstock release latch, and your hydraulic buffer. At least on this one, it's the hydraulic buffer. There's also a different one, but we don't have that. And you can tell it's hydraulic because when you squish it, the fluid's kind of moving around. Coming over here, this part is your bolt, linear cam roller on the front. I don't know how you can see this, but the little horns right here, those are your feed horns. The little button, that's your ejector, and the little claw on the bottom, that's your extractor. This right here is your locking lever, and this little one, locking lever link. Right here is your op rod, or your operating rod. Right here, gas cup, gas rings, ejection port, fixed firing pin, and right here is your sear notch. This is your top cover. On your top cover, you have your feed lever. The feed lever moves these little feed pawls. The feed pawls are the ones that move back and forth here. And there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on this side, these are your cartridge guides. Those do not move. So the ones move, feed pawls, the ones that remain stationary are your cartridge guide. Driving spring rod. This is your feed tray. Right here, this piece of metal is your cartridge stop. Right here, this is where your links come out. This is your empty link ejection port. Right here is your feed tray groove. This whole thing is the receiver. This part right here is the gas tube. You got your bipods. Right here in this area is your trunnion. This right here, again, is your barrel release latch. Inside, you'll see things similar to this. The lugs, these are your receiver. Let's see if I can get it. This is your receiver lugs inside here. Alright, there's a rail that runs alongside inside the receiver. That is your receiver rail. And this piece of metal in the middle, that is your receiver cam. Then charging handle under here. You have your ejection port and front mounting bracket, rear mounting bracket. So these are your mounting brackets right here. And this is the one for retaining your trigger housing. And then you got your rear sight. So those are all the part names and your detailed disassembly. I'll make the next video for putting it all back together for reassembly. Alright, thank you. Bye.